Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday Morning Breakfast Club. I'm so happy you are all here. We have new people here today. Of course, we have a new person that is going to be our program, and we're very happy to have it. I want to thank the eatery. I know Valerie does that also, but we cannot thank them enough to let us use the place. And I hope you all eat, even though we don't buy coffee or something, even though we don't have any candidates anymore that pays for breakfast. But I know everybody had breakfast when it was free. So you can spend a little money and buy some coffee. Anyway, we're very happy to have Tomás Regalado, which was mayor, right? Mayor Tomás Regalado, but he's not holding that seat anymore. But he'll tell us all about what he does now, what he did then, what he's going to do, and we love him very much. Tomás Regalado has a long career in public service, and his family is a daughter that is extremely good at the county, and the son also, and that is in Miami, right? In Miami. Is he the mayor now? What's the mayor? I don't know. You know, I am very lucky I forget everything. And it's good if you are in politics to forget everything, because there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of enemies and a lot of bad. So I forget everything, but I remember him. He's had me on his program several times. He's very devoted to public service, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. So, you want to sit down or you want to go? Okay.
Okay, Maggie is right. Some people tell me, well, why don't you write a book about your years in the city of Miami, your years in TV and radio, your interaction with politicians. After all, you were 12 years commissioner in Miami, 8 years mayor. We did a lot of things, and we missed a lot of things. And then I answered, no, I cannot write the book just yet, because a lot of people are still alive. And that's why we cannot write things the way we wanted to write. But I do remember that I was in office, the mayor's office, when Matthew was the mayor of Miami Beach. Later on, I worked with another mayor, and I remember Matthew when we went to then American Airlines Arena, and we had the 3 keys of the different cities, Miami, Miami Beach, and Miami-Dade County, for the 3 teams that came to play in the Miami team. So it was a good night, and I have very good memories of what you had done here in Miami Beach and the way we worked together. So I'll say it because I think we have a lot of memories, but we also have a lot of plans, a lot of ideas. We are now the property appraisal of Miami-Dade County. In the past, the years before January 7th of this year, the property appraisal office of Miami-Dade County was a unit, an office of the county government. It was under the umbrella of the mayor and the county commission. Although it had an elected official, it was non-partisan, but it responded to the county. However, in 2018, the voters of the state of Florida approved Amendment 10, and that was in 2018. it said that in every of the 67 counties, you shall have constitutional office. And these are the sheriff, the supervisor of election, the tax collector, the clerk of the court, and the property appraiser. 5 independent elected officials, partisan, that will run in every presidential election. So in November of last year, I was elected. I was blessed with the fact that a lot of people crossed party lines and gave me their vote. I am honored to say that I was elected by a lot of votes. I was only 3,000 votes short to get to President Trump, but I had 600,000 votes, and we did good. That was a mandate. We felt that that was a mandate. And the mandate was the people of Miami-Dade County are going through a housing crisis. The people of Miami-Dade County are very upset about property taxes. And the property taxes are not the responsibility of the property appraiser. However, the first step for your property tax is the property appraisal. The property appraisal is an office now run by me, independent, with more than 400 employees, most of them professionals, evaluators, people that all their life have dealt with values in the home sale. And the way that we received what we call the trim notice in August, where we say your house or your property value is such and such, is we go by sales, we go by income, that we go by new construction, and that creates the value. Now, for the local government, I was in local government.
Oh, sometimes it turns out by itself.
Now it's on? No. Now it's
Oh, it's not this one, it's the other one, I forgot.
okay.
It's this, sorry, technical difficulties.
Okay.
This thing turns it off.
Okay.
It turns it off by itself.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm sure
that's a new one.
Artificial intelligence that
Yeah, you
doesn't
got
want to talk about property taxes. However,
it. Good save.
so the value of your property converts to property taxes when the different taxing authorities, we have 34 municipalities, we have the county government, we have the school board, we have the children trust, we have the South Florida Water Management Agency. We pay taxes to at least 30 entities in Miami-Dade County. And it depends on the millage that every single taxing authority or local government sets. So when you have the budget hearing, you have the commission, the mayor, everybody saying, well, we're not going to increase taxes, we're going to reduce taxes. Remember, every politician, Matty, you know this, we say we're going to eliminate crime, we're going to eliminate taxes. But then the reality comes in. But so they decided on the millage. Millage is a very difficult to understand thing for us, the people, but think that 1 point is to $1 for each $1,000 of value of your property. That's what is the millage. So if you have 7 millage, you have 5 millage, then in every millage you have for $1 for every $1,000. That's the city. You have also the county, you have also the school board. Mind you, you pay more to the school board than to the cities and to the county and to the children's trust, even if you don't have children in the school. But that's another conversation that is going on in
And now it's giving away to everybody.
So, by August 25th, we sent letter to 1,800,000 property owners in Miami-Dade County. We have several divisions. We have the residential division, we have the condominium division, we have the commercial division, and we have the historical division, and we have the agriculture division. Many people don't know that we are a very large agriculture producer in Miami-Dade County. We have at least 10,000 folios of agriculture and agrotourism, where you can get a wedding, you can ride a horse, or you can buy honey in many places, especially in the south of Dade County. Now, how do we value your home? Well, in the past, we meaning not me, but the people before me, would look at the sales, but also at something that I have criticized. And I think that we're going to get rid of that in the next session of the legislation, or at least modify, which is highest and best use. Highest and best use is the perfect tool for governments to get more money. But it's the perfect tool for government to screw you. Because highest and best use is, let's say, this eatery. Okay, it's one story, we want to say. But the zoning says that you can build 50 stories. So the land, this eatery that could be $900,000, becomes about $50 million. And then you have to pay taxes for $50 million. So that's why you see a lot of people demolishing beautiful structures and building high rises like is happening in the city of Miami. Peter here knows. He's been an advocate and a pain on the side, not to say, the thing for elected officials, because he goes to advocate for people for many years. So now, in this year, the values went up, but not that much as the year before, and the year before, and the year before. Think about it. We sent a letter, I sent a letter on June 1st to every mayor and commissioner with the estimate of the growth and the value. And then I sent in July 1st of this year, the other letter officially saying this is the value that we will be reporting to the Department of Revenue of the state of Florida in Tallahassee, the real value of the properties that you have. And we say this is the market value and this is the assessed value. The assessed value is the one that the government used to impose taxes, property taxes on each and every one of us. The market value, if you want to sell, okay, that's relative to the market value. However, the school board doesn't recognize the assessed value. They only recognize the market value. So they charge you more taxes than the regular municipality. This year, the real estate market, ladies and gentlemen, had something very important and very different than the years before. It's cooling down. In 2021, 2022, you have a listing of a residential home and you will sell that home in 15 days. Today,
15 minutes.
you have a listing for the same home and it's been listed for 6 months. That's the way the market is going. We had a condo crash. All the old condos value has gone down. The sales have not been great for the condo industry. And by the way, I created a condo unit because before my time, the condos were under commercial. But I realized that we have 340,000 condo units in Miami-Dade County, and we had to have some experts. So we have a team of 40 people inspecting condos, talking to developers, measuring the condos, following the sales, and I can tell you that the condo industry is in bad shape for several reasons. Number one, the reserve. A lot of people are part of a fire sale in condos because they cannot afford the reserve mandated by the state legislature. And that's a problem because these are people that put their whole savings and they have to sell for less than half that they pay for their company. If you go to Brickell Bay Drive near Brickell, you'll see like 20 condo buildings from the Port Sheraton Ambassador to St. Jude Church. When you have thousands of, more than 1,000 of condo units. These were built in the 80s, the 90s, some of the 70s, some of the 2000s. These condos have a problem. And there are a lot of people selling because they cannot afford nor the taxes or especially the reserve, which in some cases, there is a case here in Palm Grove, that's on the Upper East Side of the city of Miami, Peter. An assessment of $500,000 to every unit. That's impossible. So we have a crisis with the condo. So what this means is, ladies and gentlemen, that the real estate market is cooling down. the real estate market is not what it used to be during COVID. And governments have to understand that they have to tighten their belt because I'll be reporting less increase in values next year than this year, or for that matter, the years before. For instance, the growth in value in 2021 was 21%. The growth in values last year in all Miami-Dade County was 10.8%. The growth in values in Miami-Dade County this year, I reported, was 8.1% compared to the other year. I predict that the growth will be less next year, and that translates into less money for the different governments. So we have to figure out if we are part of the local government, we have to figure out, and everybody has to figure out the way to do it. Mind you, now there is a bigger conversation about property taxes. The governor of the state of Florida threw a grenade and says, eliminate all taxes. Then he kind of recanted and said, well, eliminate taxes on homestead exemption. We have 3,000, almost 400,000 homestead exemption in Miami-Dade County. The budget of Miami-Dade County government, is $13 billion. Out of that, $4 billion is property tax. So they can live. They can live. There's not such threat as there will be no police, no more firefighters. That's a lie. That is not going to happen. Basic services will always be part of the mission of the local government. But I can tell you unequivocally, and yesterday I was having a follow-up meeting with the governor's office. I went to Tallahassee and met with the assistant chief of staff of the governor. Then yesterday by Zoom, I had a long conversation with the person that is in charge of the project that the governor wants to bring to the state legislature. And I can tell you that I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I can tell you that we will have something important in the ballot for next November 2026 during the governor's race, and we need to understand that there will be a lot of noise. There will be a lot of people saying, don't vote for it because, the teachers or the firefighters, and then you're going to have voices that will say we need to vote yes because people cannot handle anymore their bills. And this is a true thing. So I propose to the legislature, because as property appraisal, we have an organization of property appraisal in the state of Florida, 67 counties. And I will tell you that the larger counties do want and need property taxes reform, some smaller counties do not want that because their line is the property taxes or the agriculture taxes. In fact, there are 23 counties that are in distress because of the hurricanes in the West Coast, in the Panhandle, but because they are smaller counties and they need the property tax money. So we will see a debate in the state legislature, but something is going to come out, something is going to happen, something is going to be in the ballot. I can tell you that my proposal was, number one, increase the homestead exemption from 25,000 to 100,000. That would help. For every $50,000 of your value, you have $1,000 in taxes. So you do the math and you see that you have at least a relief of $3,000 to $4,000. Unfortunately, the apartment buildings are considered commercial. So by law, if you have a homestead exemption, your taxes and value cannot go more than 3%, but the commercial can go up to 10%. I'm proposing to bring it down to 8% because you need to have some kind of relief. Remember, 53% of the residents of Miami-Dade County are renters, not property owners. And there is an issue. Now, a lot of apartment buildings are not full in capacity as we saw them during the COVID years and afterward. There's a lot of people that have left because of immigration, and the occupancy level in many apartment buildings, especially in the south part of the county, is like 85%, from 95 to 85%. So we're trying to help these people with income and to reduce the values of the property so they cannot have, they don't have to pay so much property taxes. So we have to do something as residents and as people like you that are engaged. We have to be very, very attentive to the news. What's going on?
They saw it on YouTube.
That's the magic finger of Valerie.
My magic finger, yes.
Yes.
Magic finger.
Every time they want me to shut down, he does the thing. But what I have bring to the property appraisal office is, first of all, compassion. There are couples that make less than $30,000 that cannot afford paying property taxes, even if they have their home paid. This is why we propose that an old law that has been on the books, it's rewrite by the state legislature. I hope that they do it. There is a law, Matty knows about it, that says if you are 65 years of age or more, if you have lived in your home for 25 years, if you have an income less than $37,000, which is the norm for poverty level by the U.S. Department. But the fourth caveat is if your home is less than $250,000 of value. That doesn't exist in Miami-Dade County, so we are proposing to have it at $500,000. We're also proposing that they change the law. Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing in our office and in our outreach hundreds of people that are the daughters of the persons that bought the house many years ago. They are on title, but they are not in the Homestead exemption. Their names are not in the Homestead exemption. So the family thinks, when I die, my son, my daughter, they're home. Yes, they do, but it resets. And when it resets, you have to pay 3 times taxes than your father paid. So laws can be changed, but we need to understand that this is a multi-issue crisis, and we need your help. We need your help to communicate to your state rep, to your state senator, to your local authority, that something has to be done. Because if we do not act, then our children and the children of our children will not be able to live in Miami-Dade.
Okay.
I have one.
Microphone on. That's terrific.
I
never
know.
knew.
Yeah, now put it close to your mouth, lady.
So, we're opening question and answer. Before I forget, I want to ask a question. Is there any way, I have a friend that rent lowers her rent, even though she takes Section 8, sometimes she just lowers the rent in many buildings that she has here, and she has had to give up keeping the people there because everything has risen so much, like you say. Is there a way that is, let's say you have an apartment building, let's say a certain rent like HUD that imposes on certain people. If the person lowers the rent, because she's always looking for an incentive to be able to keep the person there, to come up with an incentive in taxes, to reduce the taxes, let's say, if 50% of the apartment buildings are
What do you want me to do?
HUD,
Okay.
minimum or maximum, whatever. To study that, because in Miami-Dade, I sit at the housing authority now, as a commissioner. In Miami-Dade, particularly South Beach, is the highest that they pay. So we ran out of vouchers because we pay so much rent for South Beach. So a lot of people had to move away. And they have been living here for another 20 years, 25 years. So I am just asking for you to maybe look at it, or maybe you...
I can tell you, Maggie, that we can do that.
So...
And we are doing that. For property owners that have tenants and they don't want to get rid of, but they know that they cannot pay. What we do is, okay, give me the role of your tenant, how much they pay, how much you invest in fixing their apartment. Did you have a new roof? How much you pay in insurance? And we're doing that one by one.
Wonderful, wonderful, because that will maintain affordability here, which is one of the things that we're losing. I always believe that Miami Beach is wonderful because of the mix of income, not only ethnicity, but also the income mix, and we're losing that because of that. So that is wonderful. Okay.
Okay, I do have a few questions, but I'm going to ask you one.
Thank you.
When the Dade County Commission addressed this, they made the property appraiser elected through having Pedro Garcia, who was basically an industry man. He was for his industry of appraisal and all this. Then, after he had that a few years, Mr. Lopez Confiro then was elected, and he was elected, and he became the property appraiser, and he was a people person. He believed in service, and the industry, your department became very service oriented. My question is, now you are elected there. How do you rate your ability to relate to people? How do you consider yourself, considering your two predecessors?
Okay, they are good friends, but I'm different. The reason I'm different is because I'm independent. They had to report to the county government. The other reason that I am different is because I'm not an appraisal, but I understand quality. I understand market. And what we are doing is what this office for 100 years have never done before. We are bringing the office to the people. We're doing outreach. See that lady over there? She's the communication director. And she's in charge of the outreach. What do we do? Since I got sworn in, we started organizing visits to the different municipalities and areas. We partnered when Steve Bobo was still the mayor in Hialeah. We partnered with him. We did 2 outreach in my Lander auditorium. We sent letters. We used the social media. We used the radio and TV to tell the people we're going to be there that day at that time. We got 500 people. In every outreach, our ratio is from 300 to
Magic finger.
from 300 to 500 people. Now we went to Sonia. We did partner with the commissioners there. We went to North Miami Beach. We went to North Miami. We came to Miami Beach, to City Hall. We partnered with Commissioner Fernandez, Ali, and we did like 300 new exemptions. I have seen the face of more than 10,000 people visiting those from Kendall to Ovalaka, from Miami Lakes to Palmetto Bay to Homestead. to every single corner of the county. And what we found really bothers me as a resident, as a citizen. People don't know their rights. People go there with the letter that I sent, and they realize for the first time that they can apply to homestead exemption. People, some lady said, oh, well, yes, sir, I lost my husband 4 years ago. Lady, do you have widow's exemption? What is that? It's $5,000 more that you get. You have civilian disability. Now we have a mobile unit. We sent last week before Thanksgiving a mobile unit to a home in Shenandoah, and we filled applications for 2 old ladies that are totally disabled. They have total civilian disability. We have filled 51 blind people's disability. They pay no tax. We helped the veterans. We did an outreach in the military museum, and we have more than 200 veterans. So, what we are doing is taking the office out of downtown. I don't know what is more difficult. Parking in Miami Beach or parking in downtown?
I have another question.
To me, parking in downtown. Because in Miami Beach, at least you can come to the beach and do something. I agree.
What do you do?
Mr. Regalado, only one simple question. You're talking about the school tax. Where the money for the lottery go?
Well, that's a question that nobody can answer. But remember, Julian, when the lottery was started, I think in 1985, I was in the media, and I was dazzled by the message. We're going to use the lottery to pay for education, for the school, for that. In the next 4 years, the state legislature took some money out of the budget for other things of education and bring the lottery money to fill that hole in the education budget. So the answer may be, yes, they're using that for education, but they're substituting the money that they used to use for education before the lottery. And you know, they have the special scholarship that they do, but the billions of dollars of the lottery are not used the way we were told. Now, if you want to talk about things that were promised, let's talk about the half a penny. The half a penny. The half a penny for transportation. We were told no more tolls. We're going to have metro rail to every. But it turned out to be that some elected official way back said, let's use this half a penny, which, by the way, is billions of dollars, because you cannot tax the half a penny. You have to tax 1 penny. You have to use 1 penny. And use it for maintenance of the fleet. So now they are trying to figure out the express line from Homestead. I will tell you, Homestead is this year the largest growth city in all Miami-Dade. It's becoming a kind of, let's say, I don't know, Miami in the 80s or the 90s or something like that. So yes, that's the money for it.
Any other questions? You have a question?
Harry has
Okay,
another question.
One more question. Oh my God, I heard it. Oh my God.
You can go to wait for another.
The governor has proposed to eliminate, and you sort of covered part of it, to eliminate a property tax on homesteaded properties. And that would sort of solve, different people have different caps on their property. There's different things like the blind, disability that would eliminate property taxes. This would solve a myriad of problems, and especially your department keeping track of all these things. What is your feeling about that governor's proposal of no property tax on homesteaded property, which is something like 2 to 5% of property taxes collected? What is your feeling on that?
Well, there's 5 million homestead exemptions in the state of Florida. In Miami-Dade County, we have 400,000. Broward, I think, has almost 250,000. I agree. However, the legislature that is on the table in Tallahassee right now for relief does not recognize the school board. We still be paying money to the school board, like a forever.
So how can we change that?
Run for Senate and representative. Money, you've been a moral compass here in South Florida for many years. Voices like you needs to be heard. We need to let the people that work their back for many years, that were able to achieve the American dream, to die in their homes with no paying taxes. Why taxes? Why taxes should be a forever thing in your forever home? It's something that a lot of people don't understand. I get it. We understand. We need taxes. We run service. Totally, I get it. But there are ways to get income for government. So we need to, but in that conversation of the governor, he hasn't said every tax. There's no conversation about school board tax.
And it's a change, because that
Yeah.
is the largest taxes that we pay.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's now encompasses every single school that is here, and I think the school choice issue
Yeah.
came around.
We're paying for the school
And so
choice.
now we're not only paying, and it has nothing to do with income. And so in private schools, where people choose to pay and choose now, all of a sudden, they get a check at home where they really don't need it, because those that were paying shouldn't be getting the check. You know, it's not fair. I don't get a check. I don't have a child in school. I don't get a check because I don't have a child in school. If they want to make it fair, then everybody should be getting a check. It's not fair that people that can afford it should be getting the check, and people that cannot afford it do not get the check. And so, you know, yes. Oh, this one first, and then I can get in my stop back from that. I gotta hold on. Yes, because you know who I would have to take the mic away. So since then on, I'm holding up.
I'll try to be brief.
No, not you.
My name is Peter Ehrlich, and I live in Miami. And here, because Tomas Regalado is doing a wonderful job, I saw him at an event a few weeks ago with his department in Miami, and I just showed up with shorts, and he happened to be there. And I went up to him, and we spoke. He immediately introduced me to one of his executives from his department. I've been requesting a revaluation, reappraisal of a small commercial property. And I met his executive, Ms. Quinton, and this was on a Saturday. She called me first thing Tuesday morning, took my information, called me back on Friday, and she and the department had reduced the assessed value of this small property in Miami. And I was just so impressed. It was just amazing service. They were very, very thorough. I'm very thankful, and I'm very appreciative of everything Tomas Regalado is doing, and I think he has great ideas. So thank you very much.
That's wonderful. You know, that is one of the issues I was going to bring up. We have elected somebody that is very good, that really knows and is really honest. And many, many times we don't, and we're in trouble. And even though people that have been around, like Dave, me, or anybody that has been around,
Move the other hand. Keep
Yeah.
the other hand. You move the other. There you go.
this hand. I changed it. You know, can see are always eager to elect what we think at the time, because sometimes they turn once they get elected, but what we think at the time that is the honest person, and not only to fill their pocket. Here is a great example, because he has always, long time attention, and known him, done that. So I put on this show, not because I like to get up early in the morning. I put on this show. This has been the most informative program, except for the condominium issue that we had, the most informative program that we have ever had.
Yes.
That I think.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
Tomas, thank you for being here. Quick question, I can't see you.
Wait. I'm gonna move. Or you stand up. Oh my God.
So
Okay,
one
my
of the-
bad. My bad.
One of the concerns, I love the idea
I have
of
to go back.
eliminating the property tax for Homestead. One of the concerns was, is the county going to lose control of how they're spending the money or the money that they're getting if it goes to the state and then the county has to ask for that money? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that the proposal that I heard in Tallahassee in committees is that somebody or several people in the House or in the Senate are working to create legislation where local municipalities will be forbidden to go over certain millage threshold. Like for instance, you cannot, now the threshold is 10%. Maybe they want to bring down that to 7%. That would reduce the authority of the local government to raise taxes somewhat. There is a conversation about, again, the school board. With the school board, it's something that nobody wants to talk about. But I haven't addressed, I know that some people have proposed that the state will get the property taxes and then they will come back to the different cities as they do with the sales tax. But I don't think that that's getting traction in the state legislation.
Yes.
What about the overdevelopment in North Beach and the impact that it has on the elderly citizens, and that they are forced by the high rent of the new people buying these buildings to be converted? You know, the old buildings we converted to grades and things like that, and we cannot pay the rent that has been raised by these new proprietarios, right? New owners.
I heard that that word overdevelopment when I was in Homestead 2 weeks ago. It's overdevelopment in Homestead. Then I went to Miami-Dade. It's overdevelopment in Miami-Dade. Overdevelopment in Coral Gateway. That issue is the alarm that many residents are saying because of the traffic and because of the quality of life. And, well, in the city of Miami, the response has been increased density. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but the only thing I can tell you guys is that I know as a fact that elections have consequences.
Exactly.
If you don't vote, okay, don't complain.
Yes.
Or complain. But elections have consequences. When I was campaigning for property appraisal, November of last year, I think it was October. There was an area in Coconut Grove. We were talking, and they said, somebody said, well, you know, I'm here because I like you, but my thing is I only vote for president. I don't care about the local thing. Okay. So the conversation went on. Some lady said, well, I know you don't have to do with this, but that pile of trash has been in that corner for 2 weeks. They haven't picked up. What do I call them? I said, ask him to call the White House and to pick up. So the problem is that we.
Touch again. Touch the thing again.
Oh, no, it's on. I can see it's on, yeah.
Okay. No, I think that the mic died, but anyway. The question is, why 75% of the people showed up in presidential elections and only 21% in Miami or Miami-Dade Municipal elections? That's a question that people have to ask.
Exactly. And that's a question that I always bring up. Also the questions of we're in the subject of voting, the question of how people are manipulated. And anytime there's a lot of money running around when a lot of payoff, a lot of money, and sometimes they're not supporting the right candidate for money. And it's very stressful for me. I get very angry because the consequences are so large when you are supporting the wrong candidate to go and make their decision. And the other thing I say is, usually the people that complain are the ones that don't vote. Right? They're the largest complainants.
Exactly.
And it's amazing to me that happened. Anyway, I think we're going to close, even though I don't want to close this program because it has been one of the best programs,
Yes.
more informative. I want to tell you that this is live on Facebook and it stays on Facebook for a while, so a lot of people are going to be looking at it, even though they're maybe at work now and cannot watch. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
Okay, just a couple of things. Remember, next week is election day, so please go out and vote. And the following Tuesday, we are going to have our state representative, Fabian Masabe,